Good morning. Welcome to our weekly series. This is Your Finest Life Now with Dr. Kruhly. This series is brought to you by GoGLOBAL Business School. I'm your host, Owen Yeoh, and I'm the Middliest. Good morning, Dr. G. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm great, Owen. How about you? How about yourself?
Fantastic. I'm so excited with the third episode of our series. I got up extra early, went for a really nice walk, got myself into the situation so that I believe we're going to talk about something which is really crucial to underpin what your work really is. And this is about cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Could you help us understand a little bit more what cognitive dissonance is?
Yes. So first off, it's a fancy sounding word, and it simply means with the front part of your brain where you do the thinking, called the frontal cortex. You want to go to the right, and in the subconscious mind, which is the powerhouse, it says no. You got to go left. So the subconscious mind is saying left. Conscious brain wants to go right, and then the conscious brain will not and cannot win. And let me explain why. Okay, so I keep bringing this up because if you understand this, then you understand life, you understand yourself, and you'll be able to understand your results. Because especially for those of you in business, results are showing you they're the mirror of what you're actually doing. So remember, when I'm talking about this, all of these things, the subconscious mind is invisible, right? We don't know. You have absolutely no conscious awareness of the subconscious mind. So let's take a look at it for a second. Subconscious mind, the first part of it, all the main software happens in the first 7 years of life, up to the beginning of the age of 7. Okay. Now it's recording, and starts in mom's womb when you're in her tummy, and it's recording at a rate of 30 trillion bits of information per second, 24 hours a day. So even when the baby is sleeping, or when you're a little child, the subconscious mind is processing. Now, the conscious brain at the front of your head, it doesn't start until the age of 7. At the age of 7, the brain will shift. It has enough neurologic development to shift from a theta brainwave pattern, which is like a recording pattern, to the alpha. Now, what I want you to try to imagine is 30 trillion bits of information per second for till the end of your 6th year. So just calculate how many seconds is that. Then I want you to realize, because it's imperative you realize, all that your subconscious recorded, it records as a fact, unfiltered. It's has no concept of time, no future, past. It only records it as fact now, and none of it belongs to you, because it's recording. It's not choosing. It's not analyzing. It can't, because the brain doesn't have the development yet. So that's all the software. Okay. Now the brain shifts up at age 7, and then until about age 12, as you're going through school and we could call like the socialization process, and you start learning things. Every single one of your senses, everything you see, taste, touch, it's filtered or compared to the subconscious mind. And here's another big trick. This is really powerful. The subconscious mind's job is to make your behavior congruent with it. Its job is to make you, your behavior, your actions, your personality, your energy, your health, congruent with it.
Mm.
That's why if you want, well, the only way you can try to see your own subconscious mind, you look at your surround.
Right. So Dr. G, the subconscious mind really is kind of like the system that is controlling everything.
Completely.
Right. And the reason we're having this cognitive dissonance is that the subconscious and the conscious mind is out of sync. Am I right?
They're not only out of sync, well, they can be in sync. We'll talk about that in just a second. That's what my work's all about. But
Right.
the reason they're out of sync is feature this now. The subconscious mind is a recorder when you were a tiny child till the age of 7. That means it extends backwards in time. Your subconscious mind is not you. It's mom and dad and everything else it saw. And their subconscious mind is not theirs. It's their mom and it's going backward. Now, the frontal cortex is being educated now with the science now in the world now. So think of how much the world has changed from when your dad and mom were little children to where you are right now today. Okay, so there is a gap. Now, the nice thing is, just like the software in a computer, we can change it. And so if when you let's say one of the most simplest examples is people who want to lose weight and they make a New Year's resolution. There's something like in the entire world, something like 5% ever make it. Okay, why? It's the cognitive dissonance. That's the only reason why. Losing weight is not difficult, you know. It's but if you want to do something, like I lived like this for over 20 years. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I did everything and I have all kinds of education and nothing worked. If you're like that, if you have dreams or goals and you're applying yourself and you have the knowledge and you have your why, you know, in entrepreneurship we always say you need a big why. Why am I doing this? Why am I going to get up in the morning? That's essential, right? But if despite all of that, every time it just doesn't work, or you start building and it falls, you meet a man, if you're a lady, you meet a man and 3 months later they all leave you. Or you're a man, same thing, you meet the nice ladies, they leave you. Or those are subconscious, those are like big patterns. Okay, they're nice because they show us where we got to do the healing. And then you have to go into the subconscious and break that, shut it off, change it. If you're trying to heal your body and it will not heal, there's a block. Now you replace 1 billion cells per second. Replace 1 billion cells per. So why isn't your body healing?
Good question.
And you see, remember what I just said? The subconscious mind's job is to make your body, your relationships, your behavior, your perceptions congruent with what's in there.
Right. So can I say, Dr. G, that what we really want is that we want cognitive resonance?
Yes.
Would that be right? That's why we want to get into cognitive resonance, and everything it's matching, it flows, and it happens.
That's right. As long as the subconscious mind endorses, like if you want to be a millionaire and you have all the knowledge and so forth, let's say you have all the skills and everything.
Right.
But you're still poor. Okay, so somewhere in there's something let's just take a simple example, very obvious one. When you were a kid, mom and dad would always say, only the lucky get rich. And we're not lucky. We've never been lucky. We work real hard, and the only thing you're ever going to do, as long as you got food on the table, you're happy, son. And then, so that is the one that will stop you from being able to apply your education and make your money. Unless you change that program, you will, because the ratio, the frontal cortex to the subconscious is 1,000,000 to 1.
Wow.
1,000,000 to 1 is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot.
Yeah. So Dr. G, having this idea, this clarity about cognitive resonance now, how will this actually impact our stress management? This is something which all corporates, every human being is talking about now, managing their stress level. How will this information help us to manage that stress?
Yeah, that's a good question. We know from science now, every time, whether any kind of disease, any kind of issue whatsoever, stress is at the apex. And of course, stress is a big word that means it has multiple sides to it, but it's because of the perception set. Okay, so perception set is, for instance, I have thousands of clients who grew up in chaotic homes. Dad was a drunk, yelling, throwing stuff, beating the hell out of their mom. Kid, my client as a child, they're seeing all that. The home is not safe. So their subconscious mind, that's all it's recording. Nothing is safe. Nothing is stable. Nothing. So they can't relax. And as they grow up, their subconscious mind, that's the perception set. The world is a dangerous place. So their nervous system is in a state of hypervigilance. I have a client like that right now, only 27 years old. So much hypervigilance, absolutely cannot sleep. Cannot sleep. And I'm rebooting her sympathetic nervous system. So the perception set, remember, it's 30 trillion bits of information per second to the beginning of 7 years. Whatever it was perceiving and recording, that's what it's. Now, as Tony Robbins likes to say, because he uses the science of NLP, which is an excellent science, we feel what we focus on. So you can train yourself, and I'll train you how to shift your focus. Okay, that's a life management, an imperative skill. It's imperative to have that skill, but you have to remember it's not so easy, because the subconscious is 1,000,000 times stronger. And if your perception set as you were growing up, if that was imprinted all the time, that it's dangerous or that it's a stress, that is how it's looking. That's the fundamental frequency of that person.
Right.
So what happens is, by the law of resonance, or so what they like to call law of attraction, they will draw into them situations that are high stress and anxiety causing or dangerous or whatever. And why? Remember what I told you. The subconscious job is to make your life and everything about you congruent with its picture, its belief system. That's why when I broke my back in half when I was 27, I broke L5 right in half, and I was able to fix that in 12 weeks.
Wow.
So how did I do that? I put a picture, a blueprint in my subconscious mind, and then the subconscious mind's job is to make my body match that picture. And it did. That was
Right.
my back completely sealed. That was verified by CAT scans at Providence Hospital under Dr. Sidney Goldman. So that's the same thing that Bruce Lipton did, Joe Dispenza did. He did it in a different way, but he was remapping and reconstructing his spine. He got run over by a truck, and his is really bad because mine broke in half and the whole spine moved. In his case, the truck crushed him, and bone fragments are impacting the spinal cord. Okay, so that's like a done deal. And he what he's doing is using a complicated meditation. He's reconstructing the mapping in his subconscious, the vertebra. Now, as I said, the job, once the subconscious, if it gets the picture, it will make the spine equal the picture. I believe if I remember correctly, he also did 12 weeks, and then he was back working as a chiropractor. So this works irregardless whether you're a businessman, a husband, a wife, an athlete. It doesn't make any, there is no part of your life where it doesn't apply. That's why the divine designed us this way. We need 30 trillion bits of information for the end of 6 whole years to have enough data to maneuver through life in the arena where we're born. So if you're born in the jungle, and you're a native, you don't need the information and data that the kid that is growing up in downtown Manhattan.
Yeah.
The database is completely different.
That's right. This puts a whole new spin about how important it is. The statement about what you feed your mind is what you become. Yes. And number two, if you can imagine it, it can be real. It just totally puts a new spin on these two statements.
As long it is, but I really get upset when I see all kinds of coaches and stuff. They oversimplify the stuff. You can say affirmations till hell freezes over, and Bruce Lipton, bless his heart, clarifies it. I don't care if you say it 100 trillion times a day. If you're not talking to the subconscious, it won't go in. Now, there are ways to talk to the subconscious. Like if you use whole brain posture, you go into a state of superlearn, you can access subconscious mind. If the way I operate with depth healing, you go in and clear the dissonance, then you put in the program. If you're trying to always trying to overlay, you got to understand that the subconscious mind, I want you to think of the universe because there's no difference. See, 30 trillion bits of information per second, that long. That is all of the processing, as Dispenza says, the entire field of the universe. So your subconscious isn't like some little thing you just go in and everything. It's not like that. Life is a process, okay? So you go, like when I changed all my program, now I'm a successful man. My life is I'm a happy man. But and I've had cancer and everything, and I'm almost 70 years old. Everything's great now. But I changed the program, and then as you are going through your day and your life, environmental triggers or things occur. When they occur, they turn on other software in your subconscious. So clearing is not an event. It's not like you make an event and then everything. It's not like that. Nothing is like that. There's no such thing as an event. We know that from unified physics now. It's impossible. Anytime you see something happen, the whole universe is part of that. Everything is entangled. So if you want to live a skillful life, clear as you go. As things
Beautiful.
occur, because life, that like Eckhart Tolle says, life is here to give you trouble. And then the way we grow, as the trouble comes, you handle it. If you try to stuff it,
Nice.
you'll get cancer, or you'll get a nervous breakdown, or you'll get a headache, or you'll get ulcers. You want to look at what's happening and deal with it. Look at what's happening and deal with it. So now you're in COVID. Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of humanity. And depending on the person and where they live, how much they're imprisoned or whatever, all kinds of subconscious material is showing up that they never knew was there before, because now they're in a circumstance, and the subconscious data, since there was never anything like COVID, it's unknown territory.
Right.
See, it's unknown.
Right. So this whole idea of achieving cognitive resonance, of how it actually affects stress management, this whole explanation you had today really gives us clarity why, when we set out to have a goal and objective, when we do goal setting, why it never really happens and it doesn't come across. And
that's right. That's exactly right. That's the goal, because the goal is set with the conscious brain, but it only has the power of one. So all we got to do, when your goal isn't working, that's when you give me a call, and we'll find out why. When I find out why, I shut it off. I do that with applied quantum physics. It's frequencies, because the other thing to understand is everything is energy, and that's all frequencies. It's fields. So you can think of me or other people that are healers, like we're field management people or field manipulators. Every human being is a field manipulator, but it's unconscious. They don't know that they're affecting so much. They don't have a. If they knew that, the world wouldn't be in the position it's in.
Yeah. And if you want to connect with Dr. G, find out more about this, how you can improve your life, how you can take active step to clear as it comes along, you can see the Instagram that's scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now. Connect with him on that.
I put a lot of videos on there, folks.
Yeah, amazing videos. We also have created a Telegram group that you can now join in. The Telegram, you can find us as Your Finest Life Now. Join us at the Telegram to get updated. Post your questions with us so that we can answer them directly in the show, in the interview. And we will also be having the group healing session, the group Morphic Field healing session on the 21st of this month. Before we go, Dr. G, do you have any last words for us today?
Go ahead and join me on this Telegram thing. What I want to do is we'll try to make ourselves a really beautiful community, and I'll do my very best for all of you. Make sure you try morphic healing, because the morphic healing is orders of magnitude stronger than private session. I'm available for private session, of course, but if you go into a group healing, that is enormously powerful, not only for each individual, but also for the world, because when it's a morphic field clearing, we're actually impacting the consciousness of the planet, and this is the real deal, folks. This isn't this isn't La La Land. This is the real deal.
Well, That's a good way to sum up this session, because join us next week. We are actually going to dive a little bit more on what you can expect out of a group morphic field healing session. We're going to go into it and try and break that up so that we can fully appreciate how much can happen in just one session itself.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much for your time today, Dr. G. And
You're welcome.
thank you for joining us on this session. We look forward to your questions, and we will see you again next week. Yeah, thank you very much.
Please ask questions, folks. I love questions.
Please do. Please do.
God
Thank you
bless
very
all
much.
of you. Bye-bye, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a beautiful day.